And I'm going to be tie-dyeing the Stonepoint Spring Silhouette. This is a size medium to large, and it's made in 100% white cotton yarn. It's non-mercurized. I'm not sure how it would work out if it was. And I'm going to be, here's a silhouette. I've already put rubber bands in part of it. I'm going to use this tulip tie-dye kit, one-step tie-dye kit, and I'm using the Moody Blues. So it has a turquoise, a green, a blue. This is a kit. I've already started, I've already put in most of the rubber bands. This was washed in warm water, so that way as much as it's going to shrink up, it has. It's washed in warm water, and this is still damp. And I'm going to finish putting in the rubber bands, and I'm going to be doing somewhat of this striped method right here. So I have it up on a rack with these underneath. I would do it in the sink, but there's no way to show you guys if I do it in the sink. So I just wanted to show you a picture of what it was. And then I'm going to finish. Now what I did is I wanted mine, this is the top of the silhouette, the sleeves. This one has sleeves and the back lace on it. This is the top, and right underneath the sleeves at the armpit I put a colored rubber band, and I kind of folded this like an accordion. I kind of scrunched it like an accordion, and I put and this is right under the armpits, and then this is the whole bottom, and I divided it up into fours with colored rubber bands, and the rest are white just to kind of hold it together. Now this is, make sure it stays damp, and this is the very end part, and even though this very end is pretty much all going to be about the same coloring, it still needs to be folded up into an accordion. So I'll just do that real quick for you. And so I just divided this up kind of what looked good with my eyes. And then I just gathered it up into an accordion like this. Now I have tie-dyed before, but never any knit products, and I haven't tie-dyed in, probably maybe helped my son once in 40 years. So anyhow, I just gathered it up like that, and then I'm putting rubber bands around him to keep it in the accordion fashion, because then it'll make stripes down, hopefully. I haven't any more idea of how this is going to turn out than you guys do. There wasn't anything on the internet on how to do a full garment like this. So I'm just doing safe colors, because if you combine red, yellow, and blue and they bleed together anywhere, you're going to have a muddy effect. That's what makes brown. So that's why I went with these colors, so I kind of can't go wrong. If otherwise, then we don't want to. Otherwise, you could oversaturate and have it have it turn muddy on you. This way, even if I oversaturated or undersaturated, I shouldn't be able to mess it up. We'll see. This will be a surprise for everybody tomorrow, because this has got to sit overnight. This is a one-step method, and this, I'm going to be putting the dye on this, and then I'm going to wrap it in plastic and put it in a Ziploc bag, a big Ziploc bag, and I'm going to leave it overnight. And then once it's left overnight, you rinse it and then wash it separately for the first wash. But that's all you should do. If you can see this, this is kind of what I'm going to be doing right here. And I have decided my colors ahead of time. You really should decide that, kind of decide where you're going to put what. And I had already decided that. Then in a few minutes we will get started. Okay, the next thing we do after putting the rubber bands on our damp cloth, these bottles will just be filled with water and shook. I will be putting gloves on, and I will get ready to show you how to dye in a minute. Okay, I've mixed a dye with water. Alright, so if you remember, I put where I wanted to do a color change, I actually put colored rubber bands. And those are the areas that I'm going to put. This is the top of the silhouette. This is the sleeves and the bust part, and this rubber band right here, this colored rubber band is right under the armpit of the top. So I'm going to put this on both sides of the rubber band, and you don't want to let it drip down. You don't want to oversaturate it, but you want to go all the way around the garment. Okay. All right, so you two see how to do this? Mm-hmm. All right, you don't want to just drench it. Now, this is going to be really bright. We're going to have to, you can add water to these and make them less bright, but I didn't have any more bottles. Otherwise, I would have watered this down already. So mine are going to be probably a little brighter than I want them to be. And you guys are going to be over the sink. If you can put a drying mat, I cleaned an oven rack because I needed something big. So I made sure the oven rack was really big and then put it up on here. But I would normally be over the sink if I weren't recording. So you two are going to go under the sink. Go over the sink. And then I'm just going to leave it like that. And this is what the paper towel is for, is what I did right there. Fortunately, I'm going to be putting a really much darker color. Your guys's yours is going to be in a strip, and yours is going to be kind of in a little pie sort of thing. So yours is going to be a little bit easier, I think. So now see, once I get a little bit of this out of here, I'm going to put some water in it so it's not too dark. That way it'll kind of look like I have done 4 colors instead of 3. Now you don't have to be really, really picky with this. You just don't want to you just try not to put too much on, or you won't get the design you want. And if you can see, and they said to be sure and poke it down in there, and you don't want any hanging fabric. So getting the rubber, it seems like getting the rubber bands on is one of the most important parts. Now see, I'm going below, below, below. All right, I'm going to, you always can go ahead and tell me. Now I'm recording. It looks like I'm recording all the time, but I'm not. See, I almost just, recorded the wrong thing. Okay, so it seems like the important part is just try not to have too much hanging stuff. And then after we do this, we're going to wrap them in plastic and then put them in a bag, and then they have to sit overnight. And then tomorrow we will be rinsing them and then washing them, and then they'll be ready. So as soon as we're done rinsing them tomorrow, we get to see what they look like. So, and as you can see, guys, you're going to want to take your time and do this, because I'm not being... Now, if it's all the same color, you can bunch it up like this, okay? Because I'm doing the whole bottom the same color, so you can squeeze it like that. All right, Alex, you're probably going to need to know this. I have rubber bands here, not because I'm doing different colors, but just to keep the to keep it scrunched up. So now that's so they can watch me do this. It is, I watched some people online not do any crocheted, like a whole crochet type of dress like this is, but you guys can talk. But I watched people online, and it was really cool to watch. You guys are like dead silent. Who's gonna sing? No. It's dead air space, you guys. Okay, so you both have done this once before, or just you, Alex? You're not. They can hear you, but
done it.
Oh, you have?
I don't remember it.
You don't remember it. Okay.
I don't remember doing the whole thing. I just remember that I still have that shirt.
There's different ways to do it, and also ways to mess them up. So, you know, this is just one way that I thought I wouldn't make as big of a mess, because everything I do is messy. And so I'm going to put that there. All right. So I'm going to pause. I'm going to finish this up, and then I will wrap it in plastic. Now. Okay, I'm finished putting the dye in, and I did have to pull this bodice part, otherwise I would have just big globs of white areas. So I had to pull some of this apart. I did make it too thick, and I had to pull some of it apart. See the white? To be able to get dye into it. So that's a mistake that I made, but the good news is if you wrapped it accordion style, which I did, you can get to some of it, pull it apart, and get to the white areas. I want some white in there, but I don't want big blobs of white. See, here would be kind of a big blob of white, and I want to cover that up. Now this is probably brighter than I had hoped, so I probably would have, thinking in advance, I probably would have watered this down, but I think it'll be pretty. The end part is you just want to wrap it. Oops. You want to wrap it in plastic. Wrap each piece in plastic so the colors don't bleed. And then just put it in a big Ziploc bag. Put it in a Ziploc bag until tomorrow, and then overnight, and then you'll rinse it out in the morning. And we'll get to see it tomorrow. Thanks, bye.